Lantern to Big Bird, we have liftoff. Hey there everyone, welcome back to GameFinder. My name is Dave, and today we are looking at Liftoff, Get Me Off This Planet, the expanded deluxe edition from Pencil First Games. And as a disclaimer, this is a review copy of the Liftoff, so thank you so much, Pencil First. I really do appreciate your support. You are awesome. The Liftoff, I'm pretty sure, was Pencil first game. That's hard to say. And it is a family-style game where you're trying to get all 10 of your aliens off the planet, or it gets destroyed because somebody set off the doomsday device. Now, this is a heavy box. There's a lot of cutesy and adorable pieces in this, which are highly produced. Now, how are you trying to get your aliens off of this planet? Well, you're putting them on trampolines, you're shooting them off with slingshots, and also you're sending them in space through wormholes. Now, this is the expanded deluxe edition. It adds a little bit more, like a few pieces, I'm pretty sure, but pretty much you're getting the same game even if you have the regular edition. So without further ado, let me show you this highly produced game, and then I'll tell you how to play. We'll go from there. Let's go. Alright, so this is what you get in the box of Liftoff, the expanded deluxe edition, and boy, there is some cool stuff in here. Now, I gotta say, I want to point out something that not every board game company does, but Pencil First does a lot of care when it comes to giving back to the board game community. They know that you want to be able to set up and tear down your games pretty fast. That adds to the playtime. So they have this awesome insert. They even have this little topper that will make sure none of that stuff goes flying. So it's just a little bit attention to detail that I want to appreciate on this portion of the video. Now, other than that, let's appreciate some of these amiibos. And they have a green color. The only color they're lacking is the purple, but they do have a green little alien. Let's see if we can focus up. Yeah, doesn't he look so cute? Now, I'm not really sure what the deluxe version changes. I think that adds at least a few playing aspects. Now, these are the little skull meeples, and the dice are just fantastic. Some of the best dice ever. Love this color, love the embroidered and painted icons, the rounded edges that just have a nice weight. If you're going to do dice, you can't do much better than that. Now, the one thing that I do complain about when it comes to Pencil First, they don't put linen finish on a lot of their cards, at least in the games that I've seen, but the thickness of their cards are really nice, and the art on here is decent. It's nothing spectacular, but it tells you what you need to do, and it does have some reference cards in there as well. And then you have these little tiny cardboard components. These are some thick cardboards, let me tell you. Now, each one of these little aliens, there are different ones. You didn't need to do that, but they did, and it's fantastic. So that's pretty much it. Now let me tell you how to play this game, and after that, I'll give you my thoughts. Alright, so this is the game set up for 2 players. Now, your aim is to get all of your aliens off this planet because they set off the doomsday device for some reason. And you need to do that before this track, the day track, has got to the point where the planet has been destroyed. Now, if that happens, whoever has the most aliens off the planet is the winner. Now, everyone will have some cards in their hand. These modular board will be set up with different things here. I do have one thing from the expansion that I'll go over. So on your turn, it's really quite simple. I love when they have reference cards. Especially for something that is really straightforward. So on your turn, you can do one of these actions here. You can move an alien so you can move him to one of the devices to get you off the planet, and you can do that twice with one alien, or you can move an alien and then another alien. You can play an action card. So when you play an action card, you're trying to get yourself off the planet and build these contraptions to do so, or fuel them up. There are various different cards that you can do. So gas and screws, and the card that has the same of both of them, will be building up these contraptions. So the slingshot only needs 2 fuel. You go ahead and you get 2 fuel and you put it on the spot right here, and you can put your guy on the catapult. Now only one person can get on the catapult. It tells you that on the map, and once you fuel it up, pew, one of them goes off the planet and into the player's ship. Now, not all the spaces work that way. The satellite needs screws in order to build it, and once you've built it, then you're going to have to actually have 6 screws to set it off. Now some of these spaces are affected by the moon, and as it goes around, it will either be a no moon, half moon, or a whole moon. And there are even cards that you can play to affect that. And the one thing I haven't referred to is this black piece in the middle. This is Garglorg. So when you have him, you can place him somewhere and it keeps the aliens from lifting off. So basically he's a hindrance. And that is one of the options. Like I said, pay to lift off is the cost, and then you can trade 2 cards for 1 if you want to do that as well. And then once you're done, that's when you will move the moon on the track here, and then you will draw 2 cards. And at the end of everybody's turn, a round is ticked away, and that's signified by the day track here. Now let's go over some of the few spots here. There are some of the spots that have dice that are required to actually get things going, like the Stargate. It can hold as many aliens as you want, and this is another way you can get cards and stuff like that, and it's all signified by the dice and whatever you roll. This little part I said I would go over is the expansion. Instead of moving 1 action, it takes a few moves. So when you use a move action, you will move as many as the black dice says, and then you'll continue to do that until you're out, and then that alien can shoot off. And then you have some more over here, like the Miracle. This one doesn't lift off unless everybody has at least 1 alien on there, and then it goes pyom. And then you have the UFO. A lot of these are the expansion ones I didn't put. This roller coaster one is such a weird and interesting one. I like the look of this pathway as well. So those are the various things that you can do. I didn't go over everything. There is a solo play that I actually played a lot, which will have you kind of fixing up the planet and then shooting your aliens off, and you need to do that in a certain time length, and it does add a few more mechanisms as well. So that's how to play the game basically. Now let me tell you what I think about this game and give it a grade. Let's go. So that is Liftoff. Let's go ahead and give this game a grade. I'm hugging it right now because it gets a 90. This is the 3rd must-play award that Pencil First gets. And I gotta say, it's because of their attention to please the board gamer themselves. Adding inserts, adding such charm, and just, I was elated every time I shot an alien off of the planet with this with the slingshot. It was just so much fun. And this is a light game, so you can gamerize this. There is a variant where you can move other people's aliens, which that will allow you to move them off of like the slingshot, for example, so they don't just hoard that spot. So that is a gamified version. But for the most part, you're going to look at this and say, this is going to be a fun romp of a play, and it's only going to take about 30 to 45 minutes with no confusing rules, which my crowd, you Vine Nation, we like that kind of stuff. And the solo play, oddly enough, is what I played most of, was fun. It was, I wouldn't say it's my favorite solo game to play, but it's at least within the top 5. It reminds me a little bit, just a little bit of Among Us, where you're running around trying to complete task in order to get the imposter. Well, this, you're trying to run around and fix the actual things that get you off the planet, and then get yourself off that planet. The one guy, the little black Gorg, I can't remember his name, he actually is upset, and he is trying to keep you from getting your aliens off, and you're basically going against him on the solo variant. So I really appreciate when a game has a nicely established solo play. So I mean, there are a few things that I don't like about this game, and they're very minor things. The first one being the regular play where you can't move other aliens unless you play the variant, but again, you can fix that with the variant play. And the other is things like the production. The board maybe has too big of a footprint for me, but again, that's a minor quibble. And the linen finish on the cards, not the thing that I would have done, but it might cost a lot of money to do linen finish, I don't know. And the expansion, I like the expansion, but there were a few things that I think kind of brought the experience down a little bit, because it convoluted the rules to a game that you really didn't need to think too hard about the rules, and you could just play. Now, for me, the game got a little bit samey, so I was glad to introduce the expansion, but again, there were a few things that just didn't rub me the right way. all that aside, those are the minor gripes I've had. This game is wonderful. I love the kooky humor. Everybody I think I've played with loves the kind of a charm that this game brings to it. The art, the graphic design is killing it. The production of the game is killing it. Everything culminates in such a fantastically fun family experience. And this was designed by Edo. Edo, keep up the good work, man. You have such a perfect brain for designing games. I think you found your calling. Now, again, thank you so much for this review copy, Pencil First. We could not have done this review without you. Thank you so much, Bind Nation, for stopping on by and clicking like and then subscribe. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. My name is Dave. The next time that I see you, have a great rest of your day and a great time with all your play. I'm out, everybody. Lift off. Vine Nation, we love making content here for you on the channel, and we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so subscribe now and help us out. This video right here, I think you'll like. This video right here, YouTube thinks you'll like. Or you can just sit here and watch me dance the dinosaur for a little bit longer. You can visit us at our social media outlets, and we're going to be improving our Patreon here soon. That's all for today. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.